Yep. What's up, YouTube?
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I'm back. We back. Um, as far as how I met her and how that whole thing happened, how that whole alignment happened, it was like so many things that like fell into place. I guess like always in life, because I had like 2017 was like a wild year for me because I was coming off of like some lows, and then went to Egypt, and then when I got back from Egypt, I felt like all I did really was pretty much just heal from, just sat there on top of the mountain in a sense, just doing my everyday healing, whether it be meditation or, fasting every chance I get and, only eating things that don't hurt, stuff like that, simple stuff. Just not, just taking better care of myself. So I guess with that kind of ultimately led to me meeting people that also take care of themselves like you, because yeah, for a minute there, I really was hurting myself mentally and thus physically. So, 2017, um, yeah, I came back across the country in November. Right, I saw you around Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah, that's when the first time I ever met you in Philly. So, yeah, I don't know, how you want to go in about your entry into it, but that was it for me. It was. Yeah, like my cousin had died, and then I just went to Egypt after that, and then came back, and then got healthy again, got back to my core, and then just started, got closer to the source. So that's source nectar. Um, yeah, yes, it's just facts.
Alright. Yeah, I was in Florida figuring out everything.
Where are you from?
I'm from Maryland.
Yeah, I'm from Jersey, and a bunch of shit. Y'all should know me by now. You know what I mean? Like.
Alright,
Yeah.
I'm from Maryland. I was a psychiatric counselor. Started to heal myself. Found Dr. Morse. Met someone. Had the opportunity to move to Florida.
What compelled you to do that? What feelings did you feel that compelled you to do that?
Has anything ever come into your life and you just knew that this is like something you had to do?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like it's like, okay, like I didn't ask.
It could be anything.
I
was
asking for signs of like what to do next because I didn't feel like I was helping in the mental health system. Let alone like I just really was not vibing with the 9-to-5 life. Like it's very exhausting. I realized like with as much time I was like spending doing stuff for someone else, like I needed to do a lot for my own healing, and I was budgeting my life around like I was scheduling my life around my job, and it just felt really draining. And then I had the opportunity.
So your identity was like your job.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I didn't like who I was because I felt like I wasn't healthy all the way. So I was just like half-assed in my life. So and I was like, look, there's no way that I can heal while I'm working a 9-to-5. Yeah. Where I was, like for my level of adrenal fatigue and like my level of like pain and things that I was going through, and the more spiritual I got, the more aware I became, the less I could be somewhere like that. And so the opportunity came, and Dr. Morse is also in Florida. I feel like it all just lined up. It was just like I was supposed to go there. Like, yeah, I was supposed to go there, and I met someone that we really vibed, and we believed in the same ideas, and we believed in the same kind of thing. We did the raw thing at the exact same time. We got into the diet at the same time. So it was really fun to be able to connect with someone on that level.
And throughout this process, I would assume like your identity is rapidly changing.
Because I went from being vegan to like from being all vegetables to straight fruit, and like already emotions and stuff were just immediately coming up, which is great because I don't think I would have been able to do that responsibly in like the job that I was in because I had a lot of stuff come up. But maybe a lot of stuff came up because I also opened up enough space where I gave myself like, hey, you just live in Florida, detox. Like detox. That's your job, is to take care of yourself.
Okay, so the logical next step was Florida from Maryland.
From Maryland.
Okay.
So I knew Maryland, my time in Maryland was over. So I moved, took a leap. You just gotta leap, man.
You were naturally compelled.
Gave all my stuff away, moved to Florida, studied under Dr. Morse, detoxed really hard. Majority of detox very hard. Struggled with self-worth because I wasn't producing anything anymore.
Like I
as a job.
Equity,
money or creation of products or service.
Yeah.
So just a lot of emotional. Went to what you would say is depression, but I was clearing it. Got a lot of sunshine, a lot of water, so it was necessary. High quality fruit, so it was like really beautiful.
Yeah, I mean that kind of thing can can bring humility. You know, somebody taking care of you, whatever. You know, the table's always turned, so you know you probably be taking care of somebody else, or maybe you already did before, and that's maybe why the table's turned, and that's why you're there.
Emotionally, yes, I have in that role. So, but over time, I don't know. You can really vibe with people. He's talked about it before, but I think that we can be really drawn to people and think that we're supposed to be with them, but the dynamic of what kind of love you guys have isn't romantic.
People's definition of love. Romance is a whole.
And it's like conditional. So there could be a thing where like I was with this person and I really, really love this person and care about them, but romantically, I was confused. So
you mean like when you say romance, like you mean like sexual,
like the
sexuality.
passion of it,
I mean, cause
the other component of it, which you just talked about.
To me, romance is like all the stuff that you do to get a girl naked. To me, like that. To me, that's romance. That's the bullshit you do to get a girl naked. I don't feel like you should have to try to, because first of all, we should be born naked. We should already be naked.
Yeah.
So we're already dealing with like personas and shit. You're trying to get out the way. You get me right though, like you know what I mean. Like that is romance to me. Like the fuckery between two people, like the charade. Like that can never be kept up.
Okay.
It can't be kept up. It can't be sustained because it's like an idea.
The way that I was using it was more like you could love someone and you don't want to touch them. Like you love all your friends. You're not gonna sleep with your friend. I mean, maybe, but then you're romanticizing it. Is the thing. Is what I meant. Like you can love people and not romanticize it. Like,
that's the
like me and my best friend. Like I posted about how much I love my female best friend. And everyone thought I was a lesbian all of a sudden. I was like. That is people romanticizing my love for her. Yeah. So like you do that in your own. So like you romanticize who you're sexually attracted to and who like that's like a whole other type of exploration. Yeah. So my definition was that. Like that's what I meant. Yeah. More so is like like I love you as a person versus like I want to make love with you. Yeah. Like and like commit to you and
so it's like I mean it's like like I would say like it's a compass. In your heart or whatever, to where
it's your heart compass.
Like some people got this angle where it's like, yo, this is all love. This whole any degree is love,
but it's just different levels.
Different degrees. Like you know.
That was like, why did you even let me explain? He had the metaphor right there. All right, whatever. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
I'm a wordsmith.
Yeah. You were. So that happened, and then you can get in a relationship with someone and then realize that you guys don't vibe as heavy. Plus, you're constantly shifting. So, like, you have to give yourself that. Like, I think a lot of people, even me, like, you get hard on yourself because you're like, oh man, a couple months ago I felt completely different about being with this person. But you're always changing. So, like, that is completely natural. And it's just wild because we get so attached to it that we don't honor our energy every moment to be like, all right, 3 months in, I'm like,
Yeah, the path of least resistance.
Let's honor ourselves and like
path of least resistance. Man.
But I was in a tricky situation where I kind of moved to Florida, so stuck it out a little bit more as I figured everything out. Also, it was just a weird space for me because I was like detoxing real hard. I wanted to love this person that way. You can't make yourself.
Yeah, but it's not. You're not naturally
even
inspired.
Even if they're like a really good person and you vibe real hard and like you can hang out like best friends and take care of each other, like you can't.
The dynamics just maybe not there. Yeah, if you're not naturally like, inspired just, to do
so that was happening, and
it doesn't make it not love, like you're saying.
Still love. It's just not. We shouldn't be in a relationship anymore, which is also
the definition gotta change, right?
Yeah, like the way that we play it out has changed. Yeah. And that's what hurts is because people don't want it to shift, but it's like it's already shifted whether we talk about it or not.
Yeah, because then you start harming people's ideas of.
And then we're going to be hurting each other by expecting something different from each other. It was kind of a scary place though because I tried for a while to like act like, I could have been probably more honest about it earlier on, but I really wanted it to work at the same time, so that was happening.
So meeting me. You felt like you had to meet me in your life, like that was something that was inevitable. and you're like,
well, it happens.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so I guess
Come on,
that's a moot point.
like,
I guess it's a moot point to ask that question. But
like,
I mean, like in the time,
like I didn't.
at the time, I mean, you feel like yo, like this is something like this is part of the course.
It
like,
happened so crazy that it had to be. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've already told you, like I was meditating, and I basically had an idea that something important was gonna happen in my life.
Yeah.
And then like 2 weeks.
We're good. My bad.
Then,
we got 40 minutes left, so I mean, mine doesn't leave me in the dark.
And then basically, I had just gone to Morse level 2, and I had heard about this guy Taylor Budd, and only like because other people were talking about him, and I had heard about him before, but I never looked him up or anything. And people were just like, yeah, like talking about his videos, talking about how he advocates well for like all the things that people at Morse also care about, which is health and breathing and taking care of yourself in a variety of holistic ways, and just awareness, just awareness in general, and that like you've reached a lot of people through your platform. So they were like mentioning, you guys are new because I had just started, and all these people at Morse are pretty, like some of them are new to the fruitarian raw vegan thing. So like more experienced people are like, oh, Taylor Budd's been in the game, like go watch his stuff, And I'd heard about it, and then I started seeing all my friends on Twitter and stuff supporting. I think you joined Twitter, and like all these people started supporting you and like talking about you, and I was just like, all right.
I've had Twitter for a long time, but I linked my Facebook.
There you go. So it started actively posting. So people notice you on this platform because like that's a whole other people on different platforms. And then I found your Instagram. I don't know how, through my friend, like reposted it, and then it's something I vibed with what he said because
I agree with all 9,000 posts on there.
Because they're smart, and they are like common sense worded in a way that just like gets you. You're like, oh man, like
Instagram.
I already knew that, but like the way that you just worded that got me there way fast. The mental gymnastics, I skipped that part, got me straight to the source of like, I get what you're saying with this comment because it's like blunt and concise. So I checked out his thing, and that's like, I just liked a bunch of his stuff.
Yeah, and I thought she was a robot because I just, when chicks be bad or like attractive or whatever, they just, you know what I mean? Like you just be like, man, I'm sick of the spam, Don't be liking my shit. So I was like, yo.
Oh, robot.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, are you a bot? You know what I mean? And if I get like no response, then you get the block or whatever. So yeah, that's how I met you, I guess, digitally.
Okay, but then
that's how the avatars met.
That's how the avatars met, and it was just crazy because I don't know, just vibed really hard.
Yeah, no, it's
We tried not to, guys.
Yeah, I did my best.
He was like, I feel like you're in a relationship. I'm just gonna go over here.
Yeah, I was correct.
He was correct. I was in limbo in my own mental and emotional state, which is why this could even be open. Because if I was like, I feel like if I was like 100%, there would be no way that he would come into my world if I was like, I am devoted to this person.
Yeah, especially with my past traumas, to be honest,
Especially with like just life, like it wouldn't have. I just don't think it would have happened if we weren't supposed to meet.
Yeah.
It was literally like 2 weeks after Spirit was like, "There's gonna be this person that's gonna change your life," and then also it's the person that people had been name dropping into my life like for months.
Just poking you.
Months, like the more that I look back at stuff, people months prior had sent me his videos that I like never watched and like.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks to you guys or whoever did that, man. Sent that. Left you on red. She must have left you on red or something.
And yeah, we tried not to talk to each other. That's how I feel like that's how you know, man. Yeah, we tried.
I could not talk to you. Yeah.
Could not do it.
Yeah,
we went like another week, and then we were like, so this is fake, right? We're pretending right now to like not talk to each other.
Yeah, I mean, I figured that you was in one of them relationships, like them situationships. Hate.
That's what it was.
Re-hating ships, whatever.
I'm not gonna say that one.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but
complicated, murky a little bit, just like undefined.
Yeah.
But it's okay because
I don't
the
know.
other side.
I don't know the dynamic. I'm speaking from a blind place.
It's okay.
Man. I don't know.
I was like,
he might have been the best guy in the world.
I was a little undefined. He was doing his little undefined stuff that I didn't know about. So it was fine. In the end, it worked out.
Shots.
No, that was just. I'm airing out what I've been doing, It's just,
so it's the shot.
No, it's just that was just anyways. Yeah, and then we planned to meet, Because you happened to be coming to the East Coast. I was on the East Coast. He lives in California all the time.
And I came
back. We met like right before you're gonna come over here in like a couple weeks, and you only do that like half the year. Not even half the year. How long are you on the East Coast every year?
Yeah, usually like around like Christmas and then like one time in the summer.
Yeah.
At some point. So
it just so happened to happen when we could actually meet in person. Because I was in Florida. Yeah,
that was like the trajectory where it was like, okay, the paths is...
They're aligning.
Yeah, I can...
The pieces are aligning easily.
Now.
Yeah,
like
it's we didn't have to try, really.
Yeah, no, I mean, thank you for...
Because if you were in Cali, I wouldn't have even... Yeah, so, well, that was the second time. But no. He's also in New Jersey, which is like, my family isn't from Maryland, so like, he's right there.
Yeah.
So... We hung out in like Thanksgiving, and then we hung out in December again. And,
right after Christmas, I think. Huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right after Christmas, something like that.
Before you left the country.
Yeah.
And then he had to leave the country.
Yeah, so I guess so as far as that process too, like when you went from, I guess, meeting me and among other people, connecting with people that are trying to raise their consciousness or whatever, and you were going on your transitions in Florida, getting your yoga certifications and everything that you had to do for your personal life. I guess one leap just brought you to the next leap.
Yeah, it just started snowballing into like all these crazy things that were happening.
So when you're getting out like the departure stage, did you have a plan? Or were you just like, ultimately I know the end game, so it doesn't matter how I get there, it's just gonna happen?
You mean of the relationship?
Well, I guess you knew you was gonna come to Colorado.
No.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Yeah, I didn't really know anything. I mean, ultimately once you had left, because I already left. By New Year's I was gone. You know what I mean? Because I left New Year's Eve.
I remember.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happened since then in my life.
Yeah. So yeah, I went to Portugal New Year's after we shot.
Basically, we met each other and there was a lot of chemistry, but life was happening, which is, what happens. Like, this is just life. This is just what happens.
Yeah,
like, this is what happens. Like, you could be dating someone or you could be with someone and you just evolve so rapidly that you guys should be honest with each other and separate, but you don't want to because it's comfortable and it's familiar and it feels good and, like, you guys were helping each other at a certain point. But if you're not doing that anymore, like, that's where everyone gets stuck. Like, we aren't honest with ourselves. Like, this honestly isn't even beneficial for me and it's not beneficial for you, but we're, like, both pretending here.
Yeah, I think it's just communication is key always, you know what I mean? People
they're
blocked within themselves,
also just, like, fear. Like, I was scared, like, to take another huge leap. Like, I moved down here, but, like, now I just want to move. To leave a relationship means I have to move. Everything's scary. Like, and I don't even know you, but, like, everything felt crazy. So that also was crazy to be like, I don't know you, but I know you.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like that was the thing too. Like, I guess that we had to go. To me, I felt like on a trajectory going to Europe and everything, or at the time Egypt. Well, all the places I went ended up going. But I mean, like, and then you had to do what you had to do for your personal growth. For your personal growth, like, it couldn't.
Which was a big one.
You can't. You gotta go from A to Z. Like, you know what I mean?
I think that I also want to say that the reason that had to happen was because you met me when I wasn't honoring my heart like 100%. And so to even fathom trying to share my heart with someone else when I'm not even doing being kind to my own heart, I can't. The dynamic wouldn't have played out sweetly, probably. It would have been weird. And I think a lot of people, you just need to realize that about anything that you're doing in life. Is honestly, screw what other people think. Just move with integrity and be honest. I said I was going to see him, by the way. That's important. I said it. I'm honest. But just follow your heart, man. I don't know what else to say. I just follow my heart because unlike your mind, which thinks and plans a million steps ahead, your heart's only going to know one step at a time. That's terrifying.
Yeah, so for me,
it is terrifying.
Yeah, that's why I got to follow.
You just got to jump and then it's here's the next step. Exactly. And you're like, oh, cool, it worked out.
Yeah. Wait for the instructions.
Wait for the step to come to you, and then you know what to do. So that's honestly another reason, too. We were how are the steps so that this could... But nothing was making sense.
Yeah, because I had been in a situation when I was married, and when I was young, real young, and I felt like this person was totally dependent on me in all ways, emotionally, financially, and all that. And then I just felt like whenever it's just I got
it's a bad place
yeah.
to start.
So that happened.
It's a weird place to
So
start.
that happened. Yeah, that happened, right? And I still, care about this person's well-being, and I don't have nothing against them, and I'm not acting like I'm better than them. But this weared on me a lot, like energetically. That just it really brought my energy to a place where I couldn't breathe again. So then, the following relationship was one that had a bunch of infidelity. So just those are my only real relationships, really. Like, I mean, I have a bunch of situationships, I guess. It's not like I haven't, I've been around the block. But I'm just saying, like, as far as my relationships, like, titles, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
the long ones, man. The
two.
ones where you, like, give yourself.
So those two was what I had. So that was, I guess there's definitely some residue from that. Because, like, in that situation, I know that you had mad potential to be something.
He was like, nah.
Yeah,
was I was like, yeah, but no.
Yeah, as I say, you live with some dude.
I get it.
And you're not ugly. And, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it was just like, I've seen this movie before. You know what I mean? Like, I know how this plays out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, one way, either you going to, like, do this shit and then just run back to him, or play both sides of the fence. Like, I don't know. That's from my experience. Yeah, that's my experience.
That's through your filtering, right? Yeah. But it's also an important thing that he just said is like, but he met me at my point in my life where I was being dependent on someone else.
Yeah, and
I was at the lowest point for me. So like, it was also a big thing because I'm not like as much as like irrationally I wanted to jump ship technically to be like, oh, let's just be together from this me being with this person. There was just no way that would have been the best way. I feel like we both knew that. Like, it's still it's still hard. Like, that's the other thing is, like, doing what's right for your heart isn't always going to feel fucking great. Like, it was, go, all over the world. Go all over the world. I have to figure out this thing that I'm in over here. Like, but that's what would need to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like any other way it wouldn't have been able to be lighthearted. It wouldn't be able to be lighthearted. Like,
it wouldn't be equal. It wouldn't be.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't have worked at all, actually. So sometimes you gotta separate.
Yeah. You gotta go the course. Yeah.
Let that person do what they have to do. So that's like. So I've learned so much about love because I used to have like all these really conditional ideas of like, if you're not showing up for me in X, Y, Z ways that I'm demanding of you, then you don't love me. Then you don't care about me. If there's no structure to it, then because life has told me this is what love looks like, this isn't love. And I also had to learn that you can be like, you can love someone and not be in love with them, and you can care about people at the same time. Like all this crazy stuff that I never really believed in. Like I never vibed with the open relationship idea or like being able to have a strong affection and care for someone and then also have it for someone else and then be completely different and unaffected and unaltered by the fact that you also have a connection with someone else until I experienced it myself. And that's what this was.
Yeah.
So it was like a huge lesson.
Yeah, no, that's the thing for me that I guess another reason that, like, again, why I feel like coupled with my past traumas, it's just like, I don't want to judge people based on my past, but at the same time, you start feeling, you start seeing these same signs. You're like, yo, this looks like the same street. So like, I just felt like you were in a place where, I can see your potential. I'm not trying to deny that or disrespect your potential at all. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't use their potential, and I wasn't thinking you were those type of people. But I'm just saying like that. I felt like if you're not at that place, not that it's almost like I don't even trust your decision making. Like honestly, like not even. You know what I mean? And same for me. Same for me.
Like said stuff like that to me, and I was like, but I feel so strongly. Like, why are you saying this to me? And he was like, you're in a place. We'll check up in May. Like, if you do the work, basically. That's kind of what it was. Is like, see you later. Like, and we'll see if we did the work individually.
Yeah.
If not, then we probably won't see each other later. Like.
Yeah, I just had commitments that I already made to Taylor. Yeah. That was the issue.
I had none that I made to myself, so I had to get to working. I had to be like, oh yeah, who's the person that I need to take care of right now? Me.
Yeah, because I just didn't want to do something that I would regret in a sense, like missed opportunity maybe, and then I hate you for it. Because like I'm projecting.
I know, I didn't want
you know
to do
what I mean?
it.
Like, I didn't want to do that. So I was.
Even if for like 1 second I thought I did, it was just because I was in a place of imbalance. But like if you love someone, you're not gonna ask them you're not gonna ask them to do things for you that's against their own heart.
Yeah. No, I mean like
above all else, it's like honor yourself. Yeah. I love you so much, go honor yourself.
Yeah.
Play this out. You need to play it out, play it out.
Yeah, you know, you can't suffocate people, man.
Yeah, no. Yeah. It's not.
Yeah. So you make the move from, that's what I mean though, the departure period when you make the move from that actual point where you're like, I'm putting the things in the bags and I'm leaving.
Because it took a couple months because the talks, when you have the breakup talks and people want to keep talking and you're like, we talked about it.
No, I've had that, man, where you just,
it can go back and forth.
Especially if you have
sexual, when you're scared too, because then you can convince your own doubt can convince you that you don't even want to do it anymore. So like there was like I'm not gonna say it was only him thinking that we should stay together. Like I went through. I mean, ultimately I knew that we shouldn't stay together, but like I was scared to do the whole thing, to cut the whole cord. Like I was scared.
I feel like
I'm gonna be honest.
Your ultimate agendas probably just didn't match.
Ultimate. That was what it was. Like, and I knew that from earlier on that like. We started a big movement together on Twitter, and like we just had a lot of stuff going on. We did a lot. We helped each other. We helped bring up stuff that like we had to see.
So it's a successful relationship.
Of course it was. Yeah. Like it can't not be. Like I don't think there's mistakes. Which is why I also am not like whatever happened in this relationship. I'm not a victim to anything. Like even if I don't agree with it or like someone did me dirty or anything, I could think any type of way just because I don't agree with it. I still, that was the role that this person needed to play for me. Just like this is the role that we had to play. Like everything is divine. Like we all have a reason to interact in whatever fashion that we do. So it had to be drawn out even more because otherwise, if I would have left, I never would have seen, like later something happened between me and this person that I got to see how this was a lesson from a previous relationship that I didn't finish.
Yeah, so I mean,
under a spiritual guise, like so under spirituality, same thing, just a little bit better conditions around it.
So you had to finish this.
So I had to finish this one. So something like happened, we got in a fight, which we hadn't fought the whole relationship until we wanted to break up, and then we got in a fight, and something happened, and I saw it so clearly, and it wasn't until that moment, and that wasn't until like another month later. That wasn't until like end of January. Like even though I knew I didn't want to be there, like this was the defining moment. I was sitting there and I just, in my head, spirit was like, basically I'd been in a relationship where I wasn't being treated properly before, but I wouldn't leave. Like I was giving my power away, I let the guy leave me. This time around, something happened and spirit in my head was like, are you going to leave this time? Are you going to honor your boundaries this time? You going to do it? And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. I was like, the whole thing came full circle. I was like, this is my lesson. If I do this, I completed it. I completed it.
Yeah, I just felt like it'd be better. It would have been better, like, regardless, like, I felt like the person that you would become via the course that you ultimately had to take, like, separating from a situation that didn't have any growth.
I know you do. Yeah. Like, I couldn't see that.
Yeah, and then
I was just so overwhelmed. When I love really hard. I was so overwhelmed with all the feels that, like, I was like, I don't know. But then, logistically.
That's what I mean. It's been so messy.
Logistically, it had to happen.
It would have been so messy the other way.
It would have been terrible.
Yeah.
It just also physically couldn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, literally could not play out.
Yeah.
At that time.
The Tao has spoken. Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. That I didn't I've seen it before where people will associate their growth with me and stuff like that, and I don't find you to be a weak person like that. But I feel like I'm really strong.
I like to think of you as a catalyst. Yeah, like in the moment, it's like this, boom, that thing shifted all the other things, but like the work is me.
Yeah, definitely. I would never take credit for it.
The catalyst is him.
I would never
which was important.
Yeah.
Like that needed to happen because I was in a relationship where I wasn't following my heart and I was scared. So who knows how long I would have kept doing that. Like, and I hope you guys don't think I'm like, whatever. You could think I'm a bad person for me telling you this, but I'm not. But like everyone gets in situations where you're doing something and you realize that you're still doing it and you're just still doing it even though it's not for your highest good, it's not the best for the other person. You're still doing it though. Yeah. Why? Because you're scared. Why? Because it's going to be a big leap. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be a challenge. You're going to have to step up. That's like the biggest part. You can take the leap, but then you're gonna consistently have to keep it there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So
you get what you give, and and that's it. Once you know that you're
so
accountable.
I could have probably kept going. Actually, I was trying to figure out my departure, but this guy came and it just was like a clear sign that like it's time for you to go. Like if you can meet someone and then feel disconnected to someone, that's how you should be feeling in a relationship.
Yeah, I couldn't.
So it was just like a real clear sign of like spirit calling me out, basically. Like
I definitely couldn't be with someone that I'm not naturally compelled to like to be with in that way. You know what I mean?
Happened.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight you.
It just that was a big lesson for me. So then and then I had to learn to honor my heart above all else. I had to learn to leap again, another leap. I just moved to Miami. Like I didn't even stay there a year. I don't think.
So
I had to leap again.
Colorado's been good to you.
I also didn't want to leap because I didn't have a place to land. But then I put it off, and then I put off moving, and then I had a place to land. Like my best friend lived in Colorado, and she had a place I could come to. So even if I would have left earlier, I wouldn't have had a place to go. So like you see how even you putting things off is like divine timing because I wouldn't have made my next leap. My next leap would have been going home.
I mean,
I was not gonna do that.
It's like it's a great quote that Jay said, man. He was like, if you need somebody, you don't know how things are, and if they need you, you don't know how things are. But if you and like a friend of yours both get money and you're both stable, if y'all can be friends then you're really friends. You know what I mean? But if you can't be, you never know how to.
Because one person's like helping it, like relying on the other too much.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're both in stable situations, and y'all can be friends, then it's natural, you know what I mean? It's like in accord with the Tao. So I mean, I just felt like I didn't want to.
I wasn't stable.
Yeah, because you was like, I know you was trying to land. I know you was trying to land, but like I had just left that landing spot. That was the reason. I mean, I just left Cali.
But
I'm going this way now.
Even though I didn't want to admit it to myself at the time. No, but that's the thing. It's like you were the catalyst. But like, so he had to like pull away so that I could just sit there and be like, I don't even want to jump ship. Like as much as like it would ease, the only thing that wanted to jump ship was the part of me that was like, you don't have fucking anywhere to go. Where are you gonna go? Oh, here's a place. Now I feel secure. It wasn't even. So
yeah, like that's what I mean. Like I knew it was feelings there, but for me and my filters, all the glasses I got on, I'm like, wait a minute.
But no, but you're right, and I couldn't see it like, because when I get overcome with passion, I'm just like, let's go for it.
I get that.
Why are we not going for it?
If you're drawing from a well of love.
But now you guys, patience, pleasure delay, and patience. It's
a great song, bro.
It's a great song. You should check it out. Basically, it's like just be real with yourself, and like you don't just because you met something and like know that something's for you doesn't mean it's like gonna happen at that moment. That instant gratification that we all get from all these other platforms is like it's not real life all the time. Yeah. There's work and steps in between. There's space in between that certain things need to happen so that you can align with that.
Yeah, like it's like